Molested the young monk of QingCheng Temple for 3 years. He was unmoved, no matter how I tease. All he ever says to me is something that makes my ears burn. Donor, please behave yourself. But Miss Shen, who came from the capital, stayed only 3 days in the temple. He was moved. Not only did he not shy away from her touch, he would give her his bedding in winter. Afterwards, to avenge my father's murder, knowing one's death, without hesitation, I take my sword and run to the lair of my enemies. He was in a hurry. Hold me tight. A trembling voice. Don't go. Beg you. I can't live without you. Jia Renman. Shui Dangda. My name is Chung Shiwan. He's a swordsman. He was playing with the chin of the best-looking young monk in QingCheng Temple. He looked like a rascal. The little monk is very handsome. Might as well take off this robe. Follow me. A fat gray monk's robe was worn on his body, but it made him taller and leaner. Open the neckline slightly, showing the collarbone under the fair neck. Look the same, cool and indifferent. Donor, please behave yourself. The little monk banged the wooden fish and chanted the sutra. The quiet QingCheng Temple was more quiet with the crisp tapping sound. Then the abbot in robes rushed in through the door, nervously removed my hand from the little monk's chin. He cried bitterly, "Swordswoman, swordsman, you can't do anything about it." I looked at the abbot bowing in front of me, touched his nose. Take it lightly. All right, abbot. It's not like you don't know that Zhao Fangchun stayed in this ancient temple for 3 years. Whoever spoke to me, even if he doesn't talk to you, it doesn't make any sense. Your father knew what he meant. What gives birth to a rogue girl like you? The abbot covered his heart. The trembling hand shook like the last dead leaf on the old tree in autumn. All right or wrong? I patted the little monk's pretty white face. He smiled and said, "The warrior will see you tomorrow." Zhao Fangchun's white face turned black in an instant. The abbot's face, darkened by the sun, turned red. "I'm not trying to embarrass him. Turn and walk away." This ancient QingCheng Temple, I kept it for 10 years, molesting the little monk. It's just a bit of fun when you're bored. My father is the leader of the Wuling League. I am the daughter of the Wuling leader, but my dad's been dead for 10 years. To be precise, he is a former Wuling leader. The abbot was kind to my father, so after my dad died, I have been guarding this temple. Since a few years ago, I will want to take it for my own thieves' blood-washed temple. This QingCheng Temple has become a place that no one dares to move, even in these turbulent times. This is also a pure land. As for that pretty little monk, a dead man I rescued from a mass grave 3 years ago, I sent him to the temple to recover, but made up his mind to become a monk. He looks good to me. 3 years of flirting with him, but he always looks cold. You don't give a shit about if you saved my life. But recently, I noticed he was very different to the new Shen Miss. Miss Shen is a noble girl from the capital. Everything you do is like a young lady, nothing like a charlatan like me. I carried a tree trunk several feet wide past Zhao Fangchun's yard, saw her hand in helping the little monk to arrange the collar clothes. The little monk looks cool, with a suspicious flush in his ears. He looked down at Miss Shen's fingers lingering on his chest, but he does it so well. Nor do I say the words that make my ears calloused. Donor, please behave yourself. Good heavens. She stayed at the temple for 3 days. Not worth the 3 years I spent with him. What a white-eyed wolf. But this Miss Shen is really beautiful. A girl's face is as beautiful as jade. Wearing a long blue jacket. Fingers like green onions. Beautiful eyes are glittering. Speaks softly and beautifully, as clear and touching as Oriole. I looked at the freshly cut firewood on my shoulder. His hands were covered with coarse calluses from sword practice. All dusty and dusty. Doesn't look like a woman anywhere. I laughed to myself. I don't really feel it. Happy to carry a big firewood ran Abbot House had to take credit. Abbot, come and see. This time I cut a lot more wood than the last time. The abbot looked at a tree trunk twice the size of mine on my shoulder. His eyes shook with an earthquake. Grand end. You can put it carefully. Don't break my land. He did not stop speaking. I put the wood on the ground with a snap. All of a sudden the dust was flying. The floor was cracked open by a huge piece of wood. What are you talking about? Zhao Fangshi and Shen Miss love each other. I don't care. Before monasticism, after all, he's an ordinary guy. 2. If it becomes marriage, that's a good thing. But I didn't look for him for a long time. It's like he's on the wrong pill. Come running to me. Miss Chun, please stop targeting Miss Shen. She's a delicate woman. Not as good as you. I can't even think about what I did to Miss Shen. What did I do against her? The little monk stood in front of me. Have a cool look, clearly disdained with me more than half a word, but still wanted to talk to me from Miss Shen. She said the quilt in her room was thin. I wanted to find you a winter quilt, only to be rejected. This is not aimed at. What is it? I remember now. Miss Shen came to see me once. I was busy cooking medicine for the abbot. Didn't notice what she said. Just a couple of perfunctory answers. You don't know how poor our temple is. Besides, there's a war going on out there. Each monk is allotted only one quilt. She's just here to stay because of the war. Can I get a comforter if I want one? The young monk was carried away by the word of love. You have to pick on me for every little thing. Even so, I shouldn't have snubbed her so much. She is a noble daughter of the capital. Dear friend, naturally, there should be preferential treatment. His voice was light. I heard it burning me up. Zhao Fangcheng, let me tell you, you want to get married and have kids. You go. Don't come in here and yell at me. All the monks of QingCheng Temple, including me, I have to do rough work every day. You're just in bad health. Just read and chant. Who's gonna give you the confidence to fuck with me here? I'm really pissed off. He said something he had never said to a young monk. Zhao Fangcheng looked at me, dumbfounded. There was an injured look on his pale face on a quiet day. But I'm angry. Want more bedding? None. If you pity her. He gave her his bedding. Ever since that day, Zhao Fangcheng never came to me again. But I heard it from the abbot. He really did give his bedding to Miss Shun. I caught a wind chill. The fever lasted 3 days and 3 nights. Looks like this guy has a real crush on her. I don't care. Advise abbot to let Zhao Fangcheng return to secular early. To perfect the two lovebirds, Jianghu will hold a martial arts conference. The scene is once again turbulent. Soon I left the temple. I went out on my own. The new ruling leader is coming out of the mountains. In order to know his whereabouts in advance, I've been working overnight at several houses. Unfortunately, he's a shrewd man. I haven't been able to find anything useful. Instead, he was chased by several enemies. Fortunately, on the way out, I managed to get rid of my enemy, all the way back to QingCheng Mountain, not to see in January. The abbot was the same, but Miss Shun left the temple half a month ago. The little monk reluctantly bade her farewell. Then he would spend the day locked in the yard and moping. It's just that I just saw the abbot. Take a rest in your own yard. I saw Zhao Fangcheng hurried in. There was a faint blush on his fair face, still breathing out of his mouth. His clothes were messy. I mean, it looks like he came running. I didn't even have time to snide at him about his wife running away. He just grabbed me and hugged me. Where have you been? I'm worried. His voice was husky and low. Embrace warmth. Put in the past. I can't even imagine that kind of treatment. But I couldn't help pushing him away with a twisted face. Eldest brother, you're putting pressure on my wound. I disappeared for a month. Come back. Zhao Fangcheng's attitude to his love hospitality. I don't know because Miss Shun's departure caused him a great deal of hurt, or he's out of his mind. He no longer spends his days in the house chanting. I was carrying a medicine basket up the mountain to find herbs for my wounds. The abbot was also amazed. I drank the medicine Zhao Fangcheng served, watching him rush back and forth with the herbs. A thrill in one's heart. I guess it's been 3 years for nothing. Oh no, I didn't raise him for nothing. I saw that pretty little face in a trance, but I accidentally burned it. Spoon falls to the ground, broke in two. Before I could bend down to pick it up, Zhao Fangcheng had already picked up the pieces from the ground ahead of me, put a new spoon into the bowl. He went to wash his hands, came back and took the bowl from me. I looked at his earnest face. A bad feeling came over me. He's not gonna find out I poured the pills. What are you gonna do? Zhao Fangcheng carefully scooped a spoonful of medicine, blow the hot liquid to your lips to cool it, and bring it to my mouth. Feed you. I looked into his serious eyes. I'm getting goosebumps on my hands. Quickly grabbed the bowl from his hand. Give a fake smile. Oh, thank you. I'll do it myself. I'm not delicate, Miss Shun. I am a shoulder can carry hundreds of pounds of Qing Yuan, or I could be a killer woman. The abbot told me. The man I brought woke up when I heard the news. Zhao Fangcheng was also there. At that time, he was giving me a pot of medicine. The narrow eyes of a red phoenix narrowed dangerously. Who's there? Just like 3 years ago, I saved a dying man on my way out. The man lying on the bed, pale face. He looked sick, and still incredibly handsome. This kind of beauty is different from Zhao Fangcheng's. It's more a sense of power. I looked at his strong muscles. I can barely move my eyes. The man woke up and told me. His name is Shen Linfeng. It's a businessman who's been mugged. 3 years ago, I saved Zhao Fangcheng. That's what he said, but judging by the way he's dressed, his robes had the dark markings of government. No ordinary person. These two men, I can't find a single word of truth together. I didn't break it, just let him stay. When do you want to go? Go away. But he wouldn't. Said he was following me. Be my attendant for generations to come. That's what he said. That's how you do it. And there's a clingy monster behind me. I actually kind of enjoyed it. After all, he is different from Zhao Fangcheng. Shen Linfeng is a sunny type of handsome man. Smile and have white teeth. The brow was full of youthful heroism, but the little monk's face grew darker every day. Zhao Fangcheng has a box. Very precious, even when they dumped her in a mass grave. But when I was looking for him, I accidentally knocked over the box right in front of him. There's nothing important in there. It's just a token made of a piece of metal. If it had been before, I'm sure Xiao Fangcheng will give me a hard time. But now he's awfully good-natured. Just looking I didn't get hit. Then he put the token in the box. But I was stunned. Because of the pattern on the token, I saw it on the assassin who killed my father. Can see the cold man. You look like you don't have to eat people. You don't know how to use knives and guns. It's certainly not gonna kill my dad. And the abbot said so. My dad's poison. It's called mandala. It is a strange poison that is almost extinct in the world. Only the Tianmen have it. And the head of the Tianmen school. He is the current leader of the Wuling League. Although I believe that Zhao Fangcheng could not be the murderer of my father. But he had something to do with the man who killed my dad. After that, I deliberately kept my distance from the little monk. For half a month, I only took Shen Linfeng up the mountain to cut wood, make a fire to cook. Shen Linfeng is a quick learner. He always worked hard. I used to carry the firewood to the abbot's house. Now I'm empty-handed. He followed with 2 men's firewood on his back. Zhao Fangcheng's face was visibly irritated, but there was nowhere to scatter it. He began to criticize Shen Linfeng, said his rice was undercooked. The food is too salty. Poor night work. You look cool and handsome. I became a bitter woman. Finally, when he said for the 10th time that Shen Linfeng's shredded potatoes were too thick, I'm having an attack. Don't eat it if it doesn't taste good. I brought the shredded potatoes to the abbot, grinning down the road. I think it's delicious. Eat more, abbot. Xiao Fangcheng looked at me, looked at the edge of a face of innocent Shen Linfeng. His face fell.